I'd like to welcome everybody to the August 11th Campbell County School Board meeting on the eve of our official start for the year tomorrow. And looks like I got a tough crowd out here. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we have a couple of presentations tonight. It looks like Dr. Wilson is starting us off. Dr. Wilson.
All right, good evening. Dr. Miller, board members, Dr. Stanley. So each year as we plan, we try to look for a proactive way to approach student needs and look at ways that we can help to remove some of the barriers that may be impacting our education, our educational process. So this summer, in partnership with the Department of Social Services and with the support of CPMT, we took a couple of proposals to the Board of Supervisors to look for funding through the opioid abatement settlement money. In July, the Board of Supervisors approved both of those proposals, and the funding was granted for us to pursue two programs this year that we think will be proactive in meeting the needs of our students. So I want to take a moment to thank those other agencies for supporting us, for the Board of Supervisors for allocating the funding, and I think it's going to have an impact. So I'm going to talk about those today and what we're looking for and how we plan to achieve some of our goals. So when we talk about removing barriers, we're really looking at the hierarchy of needs that students and all people have. If you're not having those basic needs met, then learning is secondary. If you're not having those self-aware or skill development needs met, where we're learning how to interact with others and behave and do things in a proactive way, then learning is secondary. Right? So if we can take a proactive approach to meeting those kind of basic needs at the bottom, we can get to that top where we want all our kids to be, and that's self-actualization and being the best they can be. So the first program we're going to talk about this evening is Care Portal. We're going to watch a short video about Care Portal and how Care Portal functions, and then I'll talk about what it will look like in Campbell County and how we plan to utilize it for our students here.
Care Portal is a care-sharing technology that drives action for kids and families in crisis. It offers the connection that we need to put our individual networks and resources together and make the most vulnerable children our priority. And here's how it works. Caseworkers encounter needs of children in crisis every single day, whether they work in child welfare or education, law enforcement, or community resource centers. Once a need is identified by one of these professionals, Care Portal provides an easy way for it to go through a review and approval process within their organization. After that, Care Portal immediately makes local churches and community members aware of the need, giving them a real-time opportunity to collaborate and respond. Through Care Portal, we are closer than ever to the ones who need our help. The platform is designed to equip and empower local churches to make meaningful connections at the point of care and to allow anyone in the community to work together on any request. So whether it's one church that responds or a community of churches and businesses and individuals working together, Care Portal makes it possible for there to be more than enough care for every child through the power of care sharing in local communities.
So many of our children and families in child welfare are isolated. They don't have a support system. Care Portal can provide not only the physical needs for the children and family, but can also provide a support system and relationships.
I look at Care Portal as a platform for us to be able to do ministry across denomination lines, across racial lines, across social economic lines, and the mission field is in our backyard.
Care Portal creates generosity-forward supply chains that get the right people involved at the right time. surfacing and solving the types of immediate needs that place families at risk and making meaningful connections that can lead to life transformation. By creating radical access to immediate needs, the community is empowered to step in. Caseworkers request. People and organizations respond, neighbor by neighbor, neighbor to neighbor. We prevent the preventable. It's the power of care sharing at work. Connection changes everything, and it's closer than ever before.
So, on a regular basis, there are individuals, nonprofits, churches, organizations that approach people in the school division or members of our school staff and say, how can I help, right? And they really want to have a targeted way to intervene and help young people, help the children of Campbell County any way they can. And also, on a regular basis, through different team processes or through other identification processes, we run across families who have hardships. Right, and as a school division, we don't budget to take care of people's hardships, but this is one way where we can connect the dots with those people who really want to help with the people who need the help, right? And then it's on them to make those actions occur. So for us, and what it'll look like in Campbell County schools, our school staff will identify a need. Those needs will be presented to our school student support specialist. There are 2 individuals that cover the county. Those individuals will submit those requests. They're all submitted anonymously. They're very vague language about what the need is or who's it going to. And then I will actually vet, or the director will vet those requests before they go out. And then they go out into Care Portal. Care Portal is just a format online where individuals or nonprofits can look, see whatever needs they'd like to meet, and then they can say, yes, we can do that for that family, or yes, we can meet that need. Then if they do that, we help facilitate that process. And we ask the family, if you'd like to remain confidential, we will have that material brought here to the school, you can pick it up, and the 2 organizations never have to meet, right? However, if the family is willing, we'll also say, if this organization would like to bring it to you, and then a little bit bigger picture thing can happen, right? Not only do they get that material need met, but also potentially develop a support system in the community. And there's a reality that Campbell County has a lot of great people, a lot of individuals that want to help children, a lot of organizations that want to help children, and this is a way for us to make sure they have a direct line to do that work. And, we already see some of this work in a broad spectrum, some of our backpack programs and things that we're pouring into schools. And so there's still a lot of other folks out there that like to help, and so we wanted to help find a way to facilitate that. So when we talk about the needs, some of the tier 1 type of needs that we would be looking at that come up too often, things like bedding or mattresses, basic needs for younger children, clothing supplies, school supplies. We have a ton of food banks we can direct people to, but if there are groceries that can be, afforded through this process, other affordable household essentials or car seats, transportation, often in TRT things, those type of things come up when we talk about truancy. People don't have car seats to transport their own children, or different small things that can make a big difference that are barriers for some of our families for their kids to obtain the education they need. As biggest things is like home repairs, car repairs, or exterminations, right? And so I know there are a lot of folks, again, who want to help, and we just want to be able to give them a target so where they could help if they'd like to. And the biggest part of that last video, I think the more we connect as a community, the more things change, right? And people find those support systems that maybe they were lacking. And Campbell's got an awesome group of people all through our community that want to help. And if we can make those connections, it can really change the lives of some of our young people and some of their families. So that's Care Portal. The other...
Can I say just real quick?
Yes, sir.
This program came around a couple years ago, and we didn't do it because, one, I didn't think we had the support countywide. And since Dr. Wilson's come on, he's had a lot of great conversations with social services and really built a team with the county. And it's just great to see them being on the same page, and then the board of supervisors funding it. So it's really great to see. Same thing with the next program.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, and they do a lot of transparent data collection. The whole process is well vetted on the backside. So as we go through the school year, we'll see how effective it is and be able to present to this board and to the board of supervisors what the ends are and whether we're justified in the process that we're doing. So The next program, we're looking to have a proactive approach for our young people is called CAST. It's a coping and support training program that we look to push out into our high schools. Some of the evidence-based, oh, got ahead of myself. Well, got to go back to go forward. Apologies. So CAST has been around for over 2 decades. It's in a lot of different states, a couple different countries, and it's a well-vetted, evidence-based program that looks to impact by building skills in young people. Some of the evidence over the last 20 years showed dramatic declines in things like suicidal tendencies, risk behaviors, drug use or drug addiction, dropout, and just overall better performance for students in school through the utilization of the program. So there's a lot of evidence. We had an opportunity to vet the program over the summer, kind of look through all the materials, and bring this one to the Board of Supervisors also. And the way our target population in our schools all will have a student-based intervention team this coming year, whether it's they call it behavior team or an intervention team, student success team. We have a couple different acronyms in different schools, but they all serve the same purpose. Where we start to identify students who are struggling, and these students may be the ones who are chronically absent. They may show signs of depression, anxiety, show risk-taking behaviors, or just lack coping skills and self-regulation skills. And so those teams of individuals in our school will be looking for these individuals, identify, and we hope to remove that barrier of not belonging through skill development. So as we really start to focus in and see who these kids, who these young people are with Tier 2 and Tier 3 needs in our building, an invitation will go out for them to work on some of these skills within the curriculum. And when those invitations go out to those, say, 15 young people at the end of the semester, if 6, 8, 10 of them volunteer to be a part of the CAST program, our facilitators will push out into the high school buildings, meet with them 1 day a week for about 55 minutes. They teach them skills, they practice skills, and then they follow up the next week. So we're really looking to identify some folks who have a Tier 2 need and get there and intervene and give them a skill set to be successful before they get in trouble, before they make bad choices. And hopefully through that process, even though it's only 6 or 8 at a time, I'll tell you, if you ask any high school principal who you're 6 or 8, they all have them right now, right? Who could benefit from something like this, where we take an intentional relationship with another adult, come in and facilitate through an evidence-based skill building process. And I think the big distinction is it's not group counseling, it's not individual counseling, it is just purely addressing skill deficits in our young people in a targeted way that we have evidence-based practices to support. So that'll be implemented in the second semester. Our staff will actually go through about 10 or 12 hours of training leading up to this semester. I think we're setting training dates for September and October for these 4 facilitators. The facilitators are current staff people. They're people that already work here in Campbell County, so we're just giving them another role to go have an intentional outreach into those school buildings and help kind of take a proactive arm to our skill development. So that's CAST and Care Portal, and that's what we hope they'll look like coming in Campbell County. Care Portal training actually is next Monday, the 18th. So implementation for that will be this first semester, and our folks are already aware and have a plan for that. Our building administrators, counselors, and nurses, and a lot. And we look to implement the CAST program in the second semester after we get training and materials. So I'll be happy to take any questions if you have.
So, go ahead. No, you go ahead. For the Care Portal, how does the community connect with that? Like my church, for example,
Right.
how would they be a part of that?
Yes.
How's that being advertised to the community?
So Care Portal has the implementation partners in the region. For this region, it was 518, still is 518 is my understanding, that is going to be an implementation partner, meaning they're kind of communicating with nonprofits in the area and getting them to access the portal that way. I know there are a couple of local churches that have already are part of that process. And so they're the ones that are kind of reaching out to nonprofits. And so that's how people are being tagged into it. We haven't done any type of promotion from the school side promoting Care Portal, but I know there are several that are already linked into that process locally.
It can work the other way. So I've met with 518 for extension work with Care Portal.
Right.
And so if your church may be interested, they can reach out to 518 and get into the program that way. There's no cost on their end. It's the
Right.
cost is on, our end or the organization that's going to be utilizing Care Portal. But I think the 518, my understanding is they're looking to expand that reach as much as possible. So if your church is interested or an organization's interested that's not already a part of it, they were recruiting
Right.
recently in Amherst, and I think they've already had recruited a significant amount in Campbell County, but it might already be on there. I was surprised at how many were already a part of it that we weren't aware on our side.
And they're going to be the implementation partner. Their regional director is going to be the one who provides our staff the training on Monday, so I can ask other questions if need be.
Does it have to be through an organization like a church? Like if we had it on our website, could like anyone go in and
Yes.
see what the needs are and do it right there?
Yes, any individual in the community can go in and meet a need. They don't have to be part of an organization or a nonprofit.
I think it's just vetted through 518. I think they just vet people through that way.
Are the Care Portal organizations strictly in Campbell County, or are they nationwide? Would somebody see that somebody in Alta Vista needs something and they be in California?
Yeah, they
Or
can.
is it strictly regional?
Well, no, you can. You can go on and you can see the request, and if you go on and you're kind of not directing toward a particular organization, there's a lot out there, right? So you could, without knowing what you're looking for, without knowing for Campbell County in particular or Campbell County Public Schools, you may get a wider range, but individuals can meet the need from other organizations outside of Campbell County.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So if the need is like, you mentioned bedding and extermination, is that produced in the Care Portal? Or, I mean, does the person that needs extermination, does the church work directly with that person, or does it go through a secondary, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yes, sir.
the person may not want to put something out there if everybody sees it. You need to come to my house and exterminate it or something.
Yeah, so the request that's put out there is something that would say, help a family stay in their home, and this is what they need. And then that communication would be as specific as needed. On the website, it's all very vague. It's all very anonymous. There's nothing that denotes the person submitting the request or denotes the people that are kind of meeting. Right, and that information only comes out if families want to.
Just where they're located at, is that? 'Cause
Correct.
I think
Well, I
some
mean,
of
just in the area, yes, sir.
Campbell County.
Yes.
Yeah, you can filter out, like if you're wanting to serve somebody, you can go in and you can filter out location, need, like there's all the headings to.
But you said you were going to be vetting the requests?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that way, sometimes if we get happy with what we're putting out there, I want to make sure that we're putting things out there, one, that are legitimate, and two, that we're not, overwhelming our population with things that maybe don't need to go into the Care Portal.
Right. Upgrade to a Cadillac.
Yeah. So, to start the implementation within the school system, it's a very small circle of people that have access. It'll be the 2 student support specialists and myself that'll be vetting those things.
I think the churches would
Yeah, I do
look
too.
forward to this. I mean, because a lot of them do a lot for Christmas and,
They do. We have a great community.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of organizations would like to get involved with this.
Yeah, I
So
think
we need to
We actually have
promote it
a
if
lot
we
of,
can.
yeah, a
Yeah, I
lot of
think-
them actually already participate because, it's Presbyterian Boys Home that had contacted me about it, years ago. But there was an expense. So thank you to Brian or whoever said, hey, let's go to the Board of Supervisors to
Yeah.
get the money. Because it was an expense to us and, and the vetting, like you said, I really appreciate that you also, because there were a lot of questions about, we don't want just anybody from the church just going into
Right.
anybody's home,
Right.
and those things. So I appreciate you and the team that is going to make sure that it's safe, when and if the two meet each other.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
On your CAST program, you say any principal can identify these 6 kids or whatever, but you also said you invite them or it's voluntary.
Yes, sir.
But are they going to be, if they really would benefit from this, are they going to be encouraged, and how are the parents involved with that?
Yes, sir. So the parents and student would all receive the same invitation for this program, right, with some information about what consists in the program and what that looks like. So parents would have to be on board for kids to partake in the program. So that invitation would go out after the team. And like I said, all of our schools are going to have a multidisciplinary team. We're looking at how we can intervene with the source resources we already have. So if these young people are identified from that team, parents should already be aware of other services or other supports that are being offered within the school. So parents will be involved throughout the whole process, and they'll be on the front end. And it's voluntary because really I think that's how they get great numbers, right? It's like counseling that you don't want to be a part of doesn't really work. So these would be young people that I think realize also that they're struggling and want to change, and this is a way to help them support through that.
Things on the cast.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the faculty. So what segment of the faculty is taking this on? It seems like a new responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Is it dependent on the school?
No, so it's going to be people that are part of my staff. So it's our student support specialist and our intervention coordinator at Cornerstone and our student development supervisor. So there are 4 people that are already employed here that work in different buildings that will push out into those buildings. So no additional task for the folks that are in those buildings other than identifying through the process that they've already established.
Okay. And then how's that work built into this? Is it part of the normal daily schedule for the student, or is it after school, or how does that?
Yeah, part of the normal daily schedule. So these folks are reaching out to school administrators to see which works best in their building. A theoretical kind of would be, Ms. Cruz is going to William Campbell. Say first block at William Campbell on Tuesday is the best time administration has identified for this population. So they would come in probably the second half of first block, because a lot of initial instruction happens in the first half. These students may come out the last 45 minutes of that one period, one day a week, to kind of go through this program and get that support.
I had a question about the care portal.
Yes.
So on the video, it had monetary donations. Is it all monetary donations, or are they physical items as well? And if they are physical items, do they have to be in new condition? Or for like car seats, kids grow out of them very quickly. They could be lightly used. Are those still, could you give like a lightly used car seat?
Yeah, we just got to check the expiration date, right? Which blew my mind, having kids, that there's an expiration date. But yeah, I think if they're in that viable range, then they're more than happy to accept and use that as a donation. So it doesn't have to be monetary. I think most of the monetary would be for a specific need. So say they need $100 for their light bill, right? And we put that out there. The monetary donation would be directly to whatever. We're not going to be handing out money to people, right? It'd be to meet whatever specific need has been addressed.
One thing on the car seats, not only is it a time frame, but if the vehicle is involved in an accident, the car seat is
Yes, sir.
can't be used. Sounds good.
Yeah. All for proactive.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Dr. Wilson? All right. Thank you for taking
Thank
this
you.
on, and let's have a follow-up, 6 months, 8 months.
Yes, sir. If not before, I'll definitely have it at the semester if Dr. Stanley would like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
look forward to it. All right, and now Mr. Hudson gets to give a presentation.
It look like we're doing things.
I thought maybe he was gonna do it from back there.
If you need help with your PowerPoint, we're going to be in.
Dr. Miller, board, Dr. Stanley. Very excited to share some information on artificial intelligence and where we are with our processes on that for this school year coming up. With the rise of AI, we've wanted to be very systematic with how we do it, and what I want to share with you is the guidelines that we are going to also use with our students as well as our staff to kind of set forth what the uses are for it. And also a platform that we've chosen, which is Magic School, is going to be the AI platform that we use. It's going to be the commissioned one for the county. With this, We know that students are already aware that they are using this on their personal use, but we want to be able to use and incorporate this into our digital citizenship, show them the correct ways to use it, the safety, the concerns with that. We already have a digital citizenship program, but we want to also add artificial intelligence to that as well. We know that it can help with differentiating instruction, personalizing learning, and it can also help from feedback we've already heard from some of the teachers with just, it's a new calculator. It helps a lot with time, efficiency. I've heard a lot of good reviews back with that as well already. And it prepares students for the future. This is something that's going to be here. It's something that's going to be needed. It's initiatives that will be part of their lives going forward without a doubt. And it truly gives us something that we're not reactive, we're actually being proactive with it as well. So for part of the guidelines overview is the ITRTs, Instructional Technology Resource Teachers, have gone around on the 4th and they've met with all the schools and they've started to share the guidelines and introduce Magic School already. So that's part of the process with it. We've also introduced Vector Solutions, which is an online training platform that we use. There is an AI course that we're sharing with all the instructional teaching staff that will have that as well. Teacher responsibility, this is truly to check content for accuracy because stuff does what's known as hallucinating. This is not meant to replace a teacher, it's only meant to help to enhance and to make their world a little bit better, or easier rather. But it's truly their professional judgment to use this as well. And truly to understand that we want to protect personal identifiable information. That idea of don't put in stuff that you probably wouldn't want to put in here. But this one platform that we picked, Magic School, is not going to feed any of those language models. That's one of the reasons that we picked the one we did.
Yeah, with this model, you can't put it in. It won't accept it.
It won't accept it. It's not going to feed the other ones. That's one of the reasons we liked it. So for appropriate use for students, we see this as brainstorming, tutoring, study guides, practice skills. Again, developmentally appropriate for where the age level of the student. And then it's also this idea it doesn't replace the teacher as well with that. Once we get to the students, it's not turned on for the students yet. Students don't have AI available yet, at least generative AI. But we want to know that there's also academic things in place as well as submitting their work as their own. We want to make sure they're not doing that. They understand the importance of that and important sensitive information as well, like something that students want to do, or creating inappropriate or biased stuff with the generative AI. Those are things that we definitely want to make sure that are prohibited with it. Best practices is checking the bias, the hallucinations, the things that can come back inaccurate with AI. And we're really, really pushing the 80-20 rule, this idea that AI should do 80% of the work, but the professional should check it and make sure and use it as an enhancement and make sure it's correct. Don't just check off on it because it printed something out and accept it as right. That's where the professional judgment comes in, and that it truly matters. And then the other thing, again, is the data privacy. I can't say that enough with that. That's one of the reasons we're really focusing on that and using it. So why Magic School? One, it does have that data privacy. It's not feeding other large language models. It's not going back to those. It saves a ton of time. Again, I've gotten a bunch of feedback about the time that it can save. There's tons of tools that go with this. I'll kind of introduce you to a couple of those in a minute. And it's easy to use. It's really not complicated at all. They've got it set up very structured it's truly structured for education. There's a section on there, it might be a tool for lesson plans, the tools, for rubrics. It's very oriented for an educator. It's another reason that we like it. Some of the tools that they have, there's 80 different tools. We can also customize the tools to make them specific to what we want with the county as well. But you can do a rubrics generator, you can do lesson plans, newsletter, icebreakers. It's a lot of good things that sometimes it takes a little while to kind of create on your own, but it can help generate a lot of different ideas for teachers and save time. But again, one of the nice features with it is we can customize it. So if we want to have a certain type of a tool set up that follows specifically what we want for the county, we can have it do that as well. The timeline for implementing this is setting the guidelines, which have been shared, and then continuing to train staff through September, and then starting to get some feedback in October. And the idea is then to go back and revisit and see if we need to adjust the guidelines any, if we need to add anything to it, and then see if we're really ready for having students to turn it on and enable it for students in the spring when we come back after the break. And that's kind of the way we want to just want to make sure we're really systematic with it and start to do something with AI, because it's here. Any questions?
Anybody have a question?
I just think it's interesting. Years ago, we talked about this coming up. We're like, oh, we're not gonna let that happen. And now we're saying,
Sure.
how can we use this? I mean, it's amazing how much it's, I guess, changed or.
It has changed a lot. It's here. And it's helpful. It's kind of, we want to see it as a way to help kids make decisions critically. It's kind of a new, as you say, a calculator. It's a step up from Google. I mean, I've started to use it myself. Instead of using Google, I asked, hey, how did I use it the other day when I was plumbing? I asked it a question. Hey, here's what I need to do. Can you help give me some ideas of how to do it? It's very helpful.
So this is a software program that we're buying. And so a teacher can go to Magic School to help with the lesson plan. And he or she could have gone to ChatGPT to get that same lesson plan. But we're encouraging our teachers to use this.
Correct.
And then, so help me then where do the kids start using it? What's the goal and what's, I can appreciate the teachers using it. Where do we picture the kids using it?
It would be kind of in the section that right here, this would be the first start with it. So brainstorming, tutoring, study guides, some of those kind of tools that could help differentiate instruction. I think it would be really helpful with that. We don't have it turned on yet. We want to make sure that we're there when we turn it on. But it's endless. Like, you could make the tool do whatever you want, but we don't want to go.
Let me
One
ask.
thing I can maybe add too is when Mr. Hudson and I were reviewing potential programs, our teachers were already using this as a free version. So they were already tracking that data, that this was a tool the teachers were in. There is a component within Magic School AI where we gotta get the teachers, feeling comfortable with it. The next step is then, when will we allow certain students, what age, what does that need to look like for our students to be able to then use it within Magic School AI? And the benefit of our students using it in here versus ChatGPT is wide open.
Right.
We don't want our students there. We know they may have jobs one day where they have to use Gemini or these other things and Copilot within Microsoft. But for the safety purposes, we need our students starting here first before thinking about that. And we gotta get our teachers where they need to be first. But the teachers were already using it. It's very teacher friendly for that. But the next step is getting absolutely our students there, because we know that is a tool they will need. Which is interesting. During a PD last week, one of the presenters said, that her math teacher told her one time, well, you're going to need to know these facts because you're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket. Well, it happened, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes we have to really understand what are the critical thinking that goes behind it, because I might be able to get that fact, but how am I making sure it's accurate? How am I making sure it's not biased? How can I use that as a tool to help me? So that's our next step, that we didn't want to do too much too quickly with that for our teachers. And the other piece is we have guidelines for AI. We want to make sure they're accurate and that they meet our needs, and we may need to adjust them as we move along too. So we're excited, for that, but also understand that let's get our teachers where they need to be, and then also support our students. So great question.
I think it's, using that calculator as an example, if we are doing a disservice to our kids, if we don't teach them the proper way to use AI now, just like we were taught to properly use a calculator, right? Like it's the same concept. But what so much has skipped with I wouldn't say generation, but there's a chunk of kids that had free access to AI at home and didn't understand how to use it properly. And so they're, even in my line of work, I get something from a new extension agent that they have created but I know it's completely done by ChatGPT, right? And so they miss that teaching component of there's a proper way to use it. And I think that's so important to our kids. And so I'm glad that, I think the teachers need to know first and feel comfortable with it, because there's teachers that are scared of it and don't trust it and don't want to use it. But they've got to be comfortable in order to get our kids. But it's the same thing as learning a calculator. We all learn how to use a calculator the right way, even though it's accessible. We got to be able to teach them the right way to use AI. I agree.
My biggest concern that I don't think anyone can ever make go away is, I know absolutely, because teachers have told me, and all we have to do is just go on there and say, I need a presentation about this, and it does it for them. So then our teachers aren't staying in a comprehensive and an understanding way of their own subject, because they don't have to, and then neither do the students. So I've watched it, college kids, and you can even go on, and you can even ask AI if this presentation was done by AI, and it will not tell you.
Oh, but there are sites that will.
Because they don't want it
Run it
to
through.
tell you. Yeah, they don't want you to know. So, how
There's
are
sites
we
you
going
can.
to know if we have comprehension issues because the student isn't making each PowerPoint and doing the research? They're just asking the computer to do it for them. I'm very concerned.
Yeah. That's the whole future. I'm concerned about that.
And I
too.
normally love all new
Yeah.
things new and shiny and want to try them out, but this one,
You have to remember, normally
I can
with
give you some
technology,
AI
kids
examples
ahead
that
of us.
are
Yeah.
just
They're
are
already
failures.
used.
There's a
The
lot
other,
of failures.
the other question I have is, we're also paying a lot of money for a big reading software program, a big math software program. And I assume that there's methods of teaching multiplication. And if kid's having troubles and he has the math software, will this work with that software, or will it say, here's a different way to learn multiplication?
I mean, you could make a chat bot inside of it to do some of the stuff specifically for what we would want Campbell County to do. Now, when it comes to intellectual property, obviously you can't copy it over into a chat bot, but you could probably streamline it to some of the stuff that we want it to do.
I just wouldn't want there to be conflict between the lesson plans and stuff like that from the one software that we're using.
I think the key is the alignment to your standards. And so because they're aligned to Virginia standards, that's the key. That's the filtering within Magic School AI. So that will always align in that way. And so that is the piece. There are some elements of customization that can be put into Magic School AI. But the benefit of what we're using in math space, as well as the bookworms, they're vetted by the state and its state standards. So therefore, it is the same language.
Okay.
And the process behind that. The other thing with Magic School AI is this actually was a little bit of savings, because there was a program we were using that we did enjoy at the time. We needed it, Discovery Education, but it's a little outdated. And so if you remember United Streaming, those of you who were, I remember United Streaming when I first started teaching, because it was videos that you had. So while Discovery Education filled a need that we had at the time, because we weren't quite to this point, we were able actually to utilize those funds for this instead. So we're really trying to be very thoughtful stewards of what we are using as well.
This is introduced, you kind of touched on it, secondary first. Is it a lot of application at the elementary level for this, or is it more?
I would share with all elementary teachers, all of our teachers receive this. And then if we were looking for who would be moving into this, we would tackle it with our oldest students first. Not tackle, I'm not the right way. Roll it out, help them develop with our oldest students first.
And I think this would be beneficial K through 12 for all teachers, because it would be very helpful.
Correct.
My initial thought with this long-term is AI is happening very quickly and it's changing very rapidly. My one thought would be not to sign a long-term contract with this specific vendor, because it is evolving so rapidly, there might be another system that may incorporate, like Dr. Miller said, the tools that we're already using. So my first thought would be short-term, like year leases of the software, so that we can stay open to other things that might be better and update, I guess.
I'm sure other companies will eventually have their own chats and things added on. For right now, this probably seems like probably a pretty logical one for the safeguards that are in place with it.
Probably become a part of it.
I do agree. Everybody's creating a chat bot for something.
It's good. It's proactive, not reactive.
That's right. The kids need to know how to use it, and need to
Anybody
know
else
where to
have
check
any
it.
questions? Thank you.
In your presentation early on, you said you were gonna give us examples of how to use AI. So let's hear them.
For lesson planning, that would be one of the big ones. Lesson planning, rubrics generation. I mean, that would be some of the big ones. They have icebreakers as well. They have
like
email
slideshows.
repliers.
And I asked if you all, the board would be able to access it.
They can access
You
it.
can.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to dig in and play with it yourself.
Show us where it is.
That's right.
Gotta wait till
Look
after
us
the
up.
meeting.
Look us up.
Anything else?
Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.
All right. All right, so matters from the floor.
Can't be nobody talking.
Haley
nobody here.
Holman. So we had somebody who signed up to speak, but I was looking forward to it. We haven't had a speaker in so long. Okay, all right. Well, then I guess we have to move on to business. Approval of the minutes for the July 21st meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments on the minutes? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, payment of bills.
Chairman, I've reviewed the bills as presented and make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any question on the bills? All in favor of approval indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Action items, donations. Ms. McClanahan.
Tonight you have a list of donations for approval. Unless you have any questions, I ask that you approve it as presented.
Motion.
Second. Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Supplemental appropriations.
Tonight you have one appropriation for approval. Unless you have any questions, I'd ask that you approve it.
That's a nice one, too.
Goes along with the donation.
Oh, I thought Gary was gonna jump on the motion.
Yeah.
No, I
Motion
just
to
took the,
approve.
I took the first one to take the,
All right, I'll make the motion to approve the appropriation.
Second.
All right. Any questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Non-resident tuition.
Tonight you have a list of students for approval to attend Campbell County as students. Unless you have any questions on those, I ask that you approve it.
Motion to approve. Second.
A motion is second. Any questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Dr. Hale?
Good evening, Dr. Miller, members of the board. You have quite less of a list for first reading policies this evening. I did want to draw your attention to EBBC, opioid antagonist. That was on the first reading last month, but we did update it from personnel training to now include a minimum of 2 employees per school. So that is back for first reading. And then you'll also notice several policies that are related to our acceptable computer use. So this has to do with the language that was included from the first reading last month for GAB IIBEA. And this is really updating our acceptable use and all of the technology requirements. We had some outdated language in there, and we also want to use broader terms for like a firewall system versus naming the specific company, because every time that change happens, in whatever new technology may come about, we do want to just have it in the broad term, so that way we can stay current. And I will say a thank you to Mr. Hudson and for helping with these acceptable computer use, as well as the policies associated with that. This does not require any action, but I'm happy to answer any questions for the first reading policies.
Anybody have any questions for Dr. Hill? All right. And we will move on to second.
Second reading, so you still have a list for our second reading with the proposed revisions. These are the same as they were last month, but again, I'm happy to answer any questions before asking for a motion.
I got two quick questions. On EB, our trainer went around to the route that our cross-country team runs and asked everybody if you have AED. Was that part of this policy, or did she do that on her own?
So we were looking to see where we don't have enough portable AEDs. I'm glad you brought this up. So based on conversations with our trainers, we knew that we needed to possibly consider some more portable AEDs. And so we are looking at purchasing additional portable ones for that very reason. Cross country is one that has come up. In addition, we know that there are some sites where you have a game here. I think of Alta Vista, and then you have the baseball here. We need more than one. So we are looking at those portable AEDs for that event, so that way they can be at those locations.
She pretty much went through the whole route, how they go, and asked every business, do you have an AED?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
And the YMCA for the swim team.
And there are a lot of places that do. We also want one that we have too, just in case.
Well, the fire department, we have them with their own truck. So if the truck's gone.
You don't have it. Correct. The other thing I shared too with Dr. Miller is that we are also making sure that Frey already had an AED, but looking at adding additional AEDs to our bus shops. So they're located there, because we do want to be mindful. So I appreciated that question last time.
Okay, another question. GBEB, guns at school events. When we use the YMCA's pool or the town's baseball field, is that considered our property while we're using it, so we can justify not allowing guns on these properties?
They are considered school-sponsored events.
Correct.
And so they're not necessarily our property, but we have an agreement of use. So the facility use would guide that along with that. And in addition, it is considered a school-sponsored event.
So we can enforce that policy?
Yes.
Yes.
I was pretty sure.
Yes.
It's more of a PSA than anything. All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
So about those AEDs, are we purchasing them? Are we getting them?
Yes.
It's past the point of looking into it. We're putting in an order for them.
Correct. Our nurse coordinator is the one who is purchasing those.
And I'll tell you, Dr. Mo, they're easy. They tell you what to do.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're great. That's,
It's not like you gotta be trained in it.
Right.
That thing tells you what to do.
Exactly.
When to shock or not shock or based on it.
yeah, they're good. That's why I want them everywhere.
Yeah.
No, they can make a big difference. Absolutely. Any other questions?
That's all I got.
So we need a motion to approve
Yes.
this. So if anybody have any other questions? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the
Motion.
proposed policy revisions.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Dr. Hale.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hunley.
Dr. Miller, members of the board. At our last school board meeting just a couple of weeks ago, I let you know that for our certified staff, we had a few late resignations that we were still looking to fill, so those are actually on this report. We are in good shape to start school tomorrow teaching-wise. And then this personnel report is also heavy with our classified staff. We're in actually better shape than we normally are with our classified staff starting the school year. Our principals have done a great job. We still have a couple of teacher assistants, special ed assistants, and custodians to fill, but other than that, we are ready for kiddos to come tomorrow. So unless you have any questions, I'd ask that you approve it as written.
That's great news.
How's these bus drivers?
Yeah.
Dr. Rinaldi?
Transportation.
Bus driver?
Transportation.
Yes, what would you like to know?
How many bus drivers do we need?
We're still hovering about 6, 7, and, yeah, but I think we're in a good spot for tomorrow. We have it, sharing with senior staff, our ridership is going through the roof. We're sitting right now with 5,700. Last year we topped out at 4,600.
Are they coming from a certain area, or is it just district-wide?
What you see is yeah, you see the fruits of all of the construction. You know, there's homes in Rainbow Forest that we didn't know that there were homes, and we're picking up 10, 12 kids in Rainbow Forest, and certainly the track at English Tavern is continuing to add, so I think we're, something we started to discuss with Dr. Stanley, keep an eye on the future, what's coming, because they're popping up. In the main areas, Rustburg and the Timberlake areas where we're seeing that.
Are these new kids to the district? They told us they weren't going to be any.
I can't answer that quite yet. We'll probably figure that out once we get in and see what enrollment looks like that, but they're new to riding buses, so.
Yeah. So we have increased ridership. Were there empty seats on the buses before, or are we having to?
No, we're having to do a lot of rerouting to balance out loads because of that.
Okay.
Yep.
Are all of our buses the maximum seats, or are we
Get
sort
close.
of?
Yes, sir. Get close.
So you might be switching buses around, because you
Yes,
need.
sir. To accommodate.
To
Yes, sir.
accommodate.
Yeah, we're in that probably for the next 2 weeks doing that, so we get comfortable with the load size.
How you sleeping?
He won't be tonight.
Won't be tonight.
No, we've got great people around us, so it'll, we'll get done. The main thing is just being patient and giving us a wide berth for the next couple of days to get them and figure out.
Yeah. All right. You got anybody in the pipeline for?
We were fortunate. We picked up a couple of folks from other localities who I think appreciate how we do business here compared to other localities, so we're fortunate with that. And I think I mentioned maybe at the last board meeting, we had 3 people that went through our most recent CDL class that have CDLs or in the process of going to DMV to get their CDL, so we're real pleased that we continue to grow our own with that, so it's, yeah.
So did the raise increase we gave help you?
Word
Or?
on the street, I think yes, based on people that I've talked to and that come in and I interview, and why do you want to come work with us, with you here, that has been mentioned to me, yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm hoping that will help retain, so we'll be able to keep the ones that we get.
Good. I know it's a constant struggle, but keep fighting the good fight. Yeah. All right.
Motion to approve personnel report.
Second.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. First reading of the Campbell County Public School proposed legislative agenda. Dr. Stanley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So at our last meeting, you all directed me to bring a first reading, and between that meeting and this meeting, I haven't heard from anybody in terms of adding to the 5 that you already came up with for VSBA. So I don't know if that warrants a first reading because you've already approved them. Since I haven't heard anything from anybody else to add to that, I would say just go with those 5. And I think the big conversation is how do we share those with VSBA as a board? I talked to Ms. Parker, maybe sharing those with JT through email, or how is that going to be delivered, through committee or what means?
So where are we?
So that's up to the board. That's up to you all as board members to decide how is this delivered into VSBA.
How does the VSBA want it delivered? I mean, do they have a procedure?
It was actually due June 15th. That's why we adopted it in June. But, you know, so I've talked to Scott and David about, you know, I've always had a long-standing request for a legislative subcommittee so that we can stay on the deadlines and, you know, maybe have 1 or 2 board members, our super assistant super and our clerk Tracy, so that we can all, you know, because I'll be going to a legislative meeting September 19th. It's not a discussion, but at the VSBA meeting there, and, you know, everybody offline discusses, you know, their legislative priorities, but.
So the amendments that we proposed haven't reached the VSBA's legislative committee, is that correct? And there was a June quote deadline, but is it too late?
I don't know. I didn't reach out to JT. Felt like, you know, that we should make a decision as a board how to handle it.
So we can forward those to JT tomorrow with an explanation and say this, you know, when this was passed by our board, please adopt it to the best of your ability. And then you bring that to your committee meetings in September. And and then I start this month having my superintendent's meetings as we start to have these conversations as superintendents. If anything comes up out of that that I think should be considered, or just for your information, I'll be certain to share that with you.
Well, at the pleasure of the board, I think we should submit them to JT and at least show that we're in the game. And I think, and I don't know what the procedures are, but I think at the next year, when we have our committee assignments, that we should have, we should come up with a plan to have a legislative committee. We should add one more committee. And I'm going to recommend Ann take the leadership on that because she's shown more interest in it. I don't know who we turn to find out how we make up a new committee. I think it should have a minimum of 2 board members, though. I think it should only have 2, but it should have 2, not just 1.
Yeah, I'd be happy if you feel that way, and if the rest of the board, I don't know if we could take a vote on it or we just, you know, chat, or everybody lets Dr. Miller know how you guys feel about it, but then, you know, I'd be happy to draft a motion for you to decide if you'd like it to be on our agenda at the next meeting.
To start a committee to start a committee in January, or to start it now?
I wouldn't recommend waiting. I mean, we're actually going to miss the legislative time for this year because the General Assembly, they have to actually have their bills in by September. So even our VSBA and our VAS, they're all operating a year and after things have already happened. So we're not ahead of, you know, asking for full funding for the programs that they've come through. I just learned recently that, you know, we have to buy textbooks, that the state's not helping us, you know, so those are things that I would like us to be able to say ahead of time. We'd like our legislators to advocate for full funding of the programs so that we're not having to always go to our supervisors and ask them to make up the deficits, you know, things like that. But there's no reason to wait for January just to create a subcommittee.
Okay.
But then same thing, a motion, you know, would be on the agenda. But that's your permit, that would be at the will of you as the chair. You'd like it to be on the agenda.
I'll say if that's something you want to add to next month's agenda as an action item to create that, I mean, I think that's something that's doable.
All right, well, why don't we get it on the agenda, and if you want to come up with the language of the motion.
Okay.
And then some of you need to think about being on that committee. It is important, you know, it's important. We've really never been very proactive legislatively at the board member. Now, I know at your level and Dr. Johnson's level, there was involvement. I understand that. But we have that responsibility too, and I think we have been remiss in not really being that involved. So, and now we have a board member who is fairly proactive in that arena, so that's to our our benefit. So,
I think the VSBA, though, every year discusses unfunded mandates with.
yeah.
So that's,
They
They
haven't
do.
asked one time.
that's an ongoing,
It's not in the legislative priorities for VSBA for full funding.
I would be shocked by that.
It's in the little orange booklet.
All right. Okay, so now we are at report of the superintendent.
Yes, sir, I've got some good news for you tonight. At our last meeting, I told you that we still had our federal funds being withheld or being reviewed, and since that time, they've all been released, so all of our federal grants will be funded, and our adult ed program will be funded, so we're all feeling a little bit better this month. So we're thankful for that. I just wanted to let you know. And then I've also got something new for you tonight. I've got an attendance boundary change consideration I would like to bring to your attention. So the map that you see on the screen is an area in the Yellow Branch, Rustburg areas. And if you zoom in on it, thank you, you'll see that it goes from Crow's Haven on the far right, which is a small store beside Rustburg Elementary School, all the way down to Callahan Road. That whole area right now is the Yellow Branch District. So what I propose to you all is to make this part of the Rustburg Elementary School District. Because there have been talks of a development on the corner, what used to be the Callahan Farm. Right now, there are no houses on it, and I think it would be wise to go ahead and change those district boundaries. There's one family that has elementary kids in that area, and I called and talked to her, and I told her that if she wanted to continue to attend Yellow Branch, I'd be happy to let her do that as a out of the attendance area family. So I'll bring this back to you next month as an action item, but to me, it kind of makes sense. Let's go ahead and change that attendance boundary before we have students and families living there. With the additional housing developments going up beside us here at Yellow Branch and the Tech Center, we're already going to have additional pressure here at Yellow Branch. It seems logical to me to go ahead and make this move so this doesn't create even more pressure on Yellow Branch.
You got more capacity at Rustburg.
Got more capacity at Rustburg, yes, sir.
Are you gerrymandering? I retract that question.
How far is that from the dump?
From the landfill?
Yeah.
So the landfill, if you go to that top corner,
I mean, would we want to go further down? As long as we're doing it, we might as well.
well,
They're already.
there are no students really right there at this time. I mean, we could.
But is there future development possibility?
I don't see it. I don't see that. Most of those properties are single family, 5.
So there's no big tracks that somebody's going to keep?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So where's the proposed development?
Right there at the
Right
corner
there
of
on
the
the
light,
corner of 24 and Callahan.
at the traffic light.
Correct. And whether it's 10 houses that go in there, or I think the first proposal was 80, I think we just want to be prepared to go ahead and get those families with the knowledge that if they move in here, our kids are going to Rustburg.
Good idea. So how many houses, new houses have been built? About 10?
Yeah, it's
15,
been about 10
something like
right
that?
now.
Yeah.
Any of them have kids or?
One.
Just that one?
Miss Dixon, I called and talked to her this week.
Gotcha.
What is the upper boundary? I mean, I see 24 on Callahan Road. What is the upper boundary between the dark shaded part and
In the top left?
no, the whole
The
upper
whole-
boundary?
top.
I mean, is that the end of
Okay,
some
so
ponds?
the
or
right
is
side
that-
of all of
it's
that is
just
the
a property
Rustburg.
boundary?
I got that. I got
Okay.
that. Just this. What is this bound? What is this?
That's what
bound-
I'm proposing changing from Yellow
What is that
Branch to
road?
Rustburg.
I know, but what road
What
is
road
that?
is it?
What-
It's 24?
What's the top?
The top road.
Oh, that's
Looks like it's
just
part of the
a,
farm.
that's just the boundary. It's not a road.
It's not a road.
Correct,
Okay.
correct,
It's just a property line.
It's
That's
the pro-
right.
Yeah, the property line.
correct.
So I thought our demographer said that we paid a lot of money for it, said we weren't going to get any new kids from these
Well,
developments.
I don't know how many we'll get, Okay, I'm not anticipating a ton, but that doesn't change the fact that this is an easy move, okay?
Yeah.
And obviously, this development would not have been even on the map when they did that study. So that's one thing that, remember when we did that study, we said that our enrollment would stay pretty steady, okay? But one thing that it couldn't take into account is future development. And we're seeing that future development, impact us, so we need to start being proactive and strategic.
I like this idea, but I think we need to look at the whole county
Yep.
for future, to where people don't get mad. I thought I was going to Yellow Branch, and now you're sending me to Rustburg.
Well,
Where you know up front now, if you move in this neighborhood, in this new neighborhood, you're going to Rustburg. Great idea.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay, so next
Easy.
month, this will be an action item. Okay. And then the last thing I've got for you is, obviously tomorrow's the first day of school, so it's certainly an exciting time. And we've got 4 STEM labs at our 4 middle schools that are ready to go. So if you haven't seen them, they are open for business. And so tonight we've got a video that was put together by STEM Plus M and DES.
It's artificial intelligence at work.
The real kids.
And instead of thinking it maybe in the terms of a fallback, it could actually be the launch.
A lot of times in education, we have focused on inside-the-box thinking, limiting kids the pressure to go get a 4-year degree.
STEM Plus M prepares these kids for problem solving, construction, manufacturing, infrastructure, things that this country desperately needs.
Working with my hands in STEM Plus M has made me more confident. It's taught me that I can be patient and that I can do hard things.
I really want to be in the science field because of STEM Plus M.
We really need to be honing in on creating critical thinkers who can make the pieces of the puzzle work together to make us all more successful.
In research and design, you do a CO2 powered car and you get to launch it off at the end of the semester. Seeing it go down the track after is very cool and just makes you feel proud about yourself.
The students are communicating in an authentic way. They're measuring in every single unit, and I've never really seen a program arranged that way.
This program has enhanced the way that I teach.
STEM Plus M has opened my mind up to so many more opportunities. STEM Plus M is giving me opportunities to bring my ideas to life.
I absolutely think about my classroom representing the future workforce for America.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So we're going to have that on our website, and then we'll put it on all of our schools' website. It's just a way of promoting that program. We're going to have a press release this week. Okay, so we'll put that out for our press and media outlets. And then we're looking at possibly doing a ribbon cutting in September and inviting our legislators to that to see what we've got going on. So anyway, a lot of good things going on with the STEM Plus M. That's been a project that we've been working on for a while, and it's ready to go. So we're excited. But certainly we're excited about tomorrow being the first day. And I want to thank transportation. I don't know how many overtime hours I'm going to owe those folks, but I know it's going to be a lot. They've been working hard, and I would ask all of our parents, if you have children on buses tomorrow, be patient. Okay, the first 2 weeks is normally a little bumpy. I don't know that kids will be getting home exactly right on time, but we're going to be doing our very best. And to all of our teachers and administrators, bus drivers, everybody, cafeteria workers, I wish the best tomorrow. Okay, and having a great first day. That's all we got.
Where did I start last time? All right, Ms. Parker, you get to start tonight.
Well, thank you. Actually, I completely forgot at our last school board meeting to invite you guys all to dunk me at the dunk tank at Rustburg. I don't know if it was intentional that I forgot to mention it, but it was a blast to be at the street fair. Mr. Hardy was down there too. It was fabulous, end of year, the summer reading program from the Campbell County Libraries. It was an absolute amazing event, and I thoroughly enjoyed the dunk tank. I've taken, I'm kind of a webinar junkie. So I've done some really great things recently, or learned a lot of really great things through the governor. Actually has a Department of Outreach that has a leadership and development webinar. And I thought this was one of the favorites. You know, they always say the best boss does all the jobs. And that was one of the overarching messages at this webinar. And I thought, they've never been to a school district, right? Just like me as a parent, until I was on the board, had absolutely no idea the depth and the departments and, you know, how many folks there are here. So continue trying and visit as many departments and meet as many people as I can, but I can't even imagine trying to do all the jobs. So I appreciate our central office for keeping it all together. You guys do an amazing job. Also got to sit on the JLARC Zoom where they were, that SBMA sponsored, where they were asking school board members for their input on the accountability and accreditation new framework. I thought that went very well. They were very open and receptive to some things like that I had concerns about, Dr. Miller, about like the Laurel School being included in those metrics for, you know, which doesn't make sense, right? And they are looking at trying to define certain schools as alternatives so they're not in the same mix, but I was super excited about it. I thought it was awesome that they cared to ask for feedback. Also was really excited when I watched a root cause of student mental health class. I was expecting it to be something I'd be, you know, resistant to, but it was awesome, and it really did outline all of the things that our kids are exposed to that we were not in my generation. And one of the largest statistics was that it was a 60% decrease in the ability for children to bond or create relationships independently if they were given cell phones before 13. And I think that's becoming more, you know, widely documented. So that was very interesting to learn. And also I had a lot of fun talking to the middle school principals. The SRO there is apparently a traffic god, managing the cars over there. Parents were even excited that he was back. And also had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Stanley and the engineer at VDOT when they had an open house last week and kind of discuss the Enterprise B Drive project. So that is ongoing, and there's a study happening for the parents. I know there's a few parents waiting to see if we had an announcement. So just want to let them know we're all on it, and hopefully we'll get to see something there soon. And other than that, oh my gosh, Brookville is looking great. They've been washing down the parking lot regularly in the evenings. Open house day, I know you guys all drove by too. I drove through 3 different times and couldn't even find street parking. But saw a lot of smiling faces, checked with the principals. They said it was just fabulous to see the teachers and the kids reuniting, and people are actually excited. And I heard the word normal from everyone that I asked, that whether a teacher, a janitor, they said it feels normal, and I just thought that was awesome. So excited for first day of school. And that's it.
Before I start my stuff, the STEM plus M, are we still on the honeymoon with the group that's funding this thing? I mean, and the reason I ask is either the baseball all-star game or the British Open was sponsored by submarine shipbuilders, something like that. And I remember early on, that's what the STEM thing was designated as, was to allow us training young kids to be able to build, you know, ships and subs and, you know, things we need. So my question is, are our STEM plus M labs, can they accommodate as many kids as want to participate in it?
I'd have to talk to principals about that.
Yeah.
Dr.
Having kids sign
They
up.
can, yes. We're very fortunate with our relationship with DES. We have some labs that are at more capacity based on student interest. Rustboro Middle probably has the highest enrollment in STEM plus M, but we will have funds for the next 4 years, is our agreement with DES. So yeah, they will support us. It's making sure too that we continue to promote it with our students, so they are in it, because it's really about working with your hands and problem solving, but also the teachers critical, for this.
Right.
So obviously you saw Tanya and Eric, who are your teachers at Russburg Middle School, but I know that the other teachers are thrilled to be teaching this. They did training 2 days before we even came back to school for this, so they're very excited. But yes, it's really the critical need that we have within any of these manufacturing entities, but also keep in mind manufacturing is a strength of Lynchburg.
Right.
And obviously we have a very strong relationship with the Navy within our area. So we do have the funds covered for the next little bit. You know, we'll have to reevaluate in 4 years to see. But we were the first pilot of this in the entire nation.
Right.
So it's something to be very proud of. And what's nice is when you see that, the kids stand out to you, right?
Right.
All of our students need that opportunity. So
That's,
we're excited.
I mean, that's, I want us to avoid the situation we have here with like the classes that we can't accommodate everybody. I mean, if we see that need coming, we need to make adjustments to make accommodations where we can, you know, accommodate everybody. But I mean, just seeing the pride on those kids' faces, I mean, a couple times I went in that classroom, the kids were just, they love it. I mean, they love it. And what's the Hanson boys, Chris? Eric. His mama is Dabney Hanson, that was a principal at William Campbell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a class young man.
Oh.
Hi.
That's just like her. Yeah, now that you mention it. Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah.
Hi, here's I'm gonna give our high school principals. You remember y'all guys that go to the school board convention? You know that video contest that we sit there and watch every year, and we see Arlington and Alexandria.
The one that we're never in?
And we're never in it. Let's get in that thing and somebody besides Arlington win. I mean, the video is, I mean, I don't know what it has to be about. I guess it's got to be on the VSBA website, but.
Are you bringing this up to
action item?
encourage it, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, I got to do something because we know, I mean, I've been going for 25 years and we ain't never had we've had people in arts.
Have we reached out at all to our schools?
I don't guess so. I don't guess so, but I mean, y'all have seen the videos that win. I mean, it's just.
You got to
Little
one.
snippets.
Do what, Gary?
They're little snippets. They're not very
Yeah.
long.
We got that STEM in one.
So, I just would like to see some of our, you know, students participate at it.
Well, I don't know if any of our principals even know about it.
That's what I'm
We
here.
need to look and see what it is.
Pushing this forward.
Well, let's form a committee, man.
We might throw Arlington off their rocker if Campbell County got in there and had some real class video. It would be. Donations, extraordinary donations, large and small, they're all great. Last Wednesday, I stopped by Concord and went into the early intervention classroom, and there were the principal and assistant principal and the 2 teachers, and they're excited. They're really, truly excited. If you don't, that's the class that moved from Cornerstone to Concord, so they're really excited. Got 4 students right at this time, with rooms decorated just like any room. And I mean, I remember, I don't know if any of y'all were with me when we came away to Cornerstone one time, but one of the elementary kids was up under the secretary's desk. That's where his place was. So, you know, anything like that would be an improvement from that. So, and then Wednesday afternoon, Dr. Wilkerson and I went to the Central Virginia Governor's School board meeting, and they will be hiring a new director. So that position will be advertised. I think you're supposed to advertise it on the Campbell County website, but the application will have to be on the City of Lynchburg application. That's my understanding. But that position will be filled. Family night at the baseball game was very enjoyable. Appreciate y'all putting that together. If you could have just cut the thermostat down just a little bit, it would have been nice, but it was very nice. Appreciate y'all doing it. And I just say this is a new year. Let's start strong and stay strong during the year. And Dr. Stanley wanted you and I to talk about Brookville High School, so I'll let you go. And if I need to fill in gaps, I will. But we had a gathering over there, I guess, the joint committees, Dr. Stanley, Frank, Cliff, all the Blair folks was there. I mean, none of them not
brought
there.
everybody.
So, Karen, you go ahead and I'll fill in.
Well, I think there was some concern. I mean, let's be completely transparent. There were some concerns that it was going to be ready. Like, I was concerned. I was seeing people in the grocery store that said it looked like a bomb went off, and you had to agree. When you drove by, it looked like a bomb had gone off in the front. And, you know, there was a lot to overcome. I had absolute reservations that it was not going to happen. And I think you even had some reservations last week that it may not happen. I think we had some concerns. But they did. They pulled it together. What we saw on Thursday was an immense improvement. What I saw, you know, of course, Wednesday to Thursday, and then even today, it looks really good. I think the amount of dust that they have removed from the school has been remarkable, that they've been able to get out and to make it safe. And I think once the barrier walls went up, they've made some huge progress. And it's not exactly what we wanted as far as the schedule to be where it was hoped to be, but it's, you know, it's a safe environment for our kids. It is conducive to learning, and I think that is the priorities that need to be met at the current time, and they did achieve that. It's, you know, everything kind of looks ugly before it gets to be beautiful, and so, you know, we saw that downstairs. I think it was hard because all the improvements that were done last year, it was out of the regular top level, the normal activity of the school, and so it kind of went unnoticed. And now it's right in the, you know, in your face. And so I think it's going to be seen by more, but the plan is working. The seniors have a great wall to paint. You know, they've got a place to designate as theirs, and I think we'll just continue to support that to where it looks amazing. So, and I think Christine said if y'all want to stop by at any time to go by and look and see where the improvements are. There's hallways that are up and running and fully functional, so I think it's been a good thing.
And can I say too, I just want to thank Tim Clark, President of Blair, and Ken V. Kraft, and everybody that was there. Bobby Atkins, who's there about every day, and Jeff Navarro. They were there to answer any questions, ease any concerns, and be there for us. So I appreciated that.
So I think significant improvements, and you know, they're excited about the first football game and getting that rolling. And anything else I missed?
Well,
joint meeting.
I'll just say that I think you prepped me a little bit. I don't think they finished anything over there yet.
No.
Everything has got a little bit left to tweak or fill in gaps. I mean, I think between the weight room and the old part of the building, in other words, you look, by God, you're looking outside. I mean, it's a gap in a wall, you know, rough gap that they've just not finished. And after we were all going back to the trucks to leave, Tim Clark told me, he says, I can't believe our guys put up a damn clock and it was crooked. I mean, I remember the clock in the...
2 screws are missing.
And it's just hanging down at an angle. He says, I can't believe our people put up something that sorry. So I think he was a little bit frustrated too, but it's just, I will credit them. I don't know where they found all the mop pushers, but they must have had 12 mop buckets and moppers going in the halls while we were there. So they got to clean something, but it's just, there's a lot to get done, and I just hope that safety is paramount when our kids get back in there, because it was a kind of a cluster while just a group of 12 were walking around in there. I mean, it's still a construction site, and you dump how many kids in there? 800, 1,000?
Yeah, kudos to our administrators that are, you know, somewhat construction supervisors at the same time. You know, having to balance and float all of that and also lead our schools.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But
so it's,
now go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it's just, I think every day is, I feel like every week there's going to be some sort of change, some sort of new area to see.
I do again say Mr. Marston is, I don't know what we're paying him, but it ain't enough, because he's, you know, the things Clay sends us, you know, just, I know all y'all said the fence going up around the tennis courts. They sent pictures of it, and it looked like they just used scrap materials because it's different heights and crooked, but now by golly, it looks perfect.
And
So
there's a little underlying frustration in his.
it's gotten there, yeah, it's gotten there.
Read between the lines.
I think the asphalt put him over the edge. I truly do.
I think he has been a huge asset for Christine. He's been great with communication.
Yeah.
And staying on top of it by all means. So, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised that parents walked in on Wednesday, and I was there when the doors were opened for open house, just kind of to be proactive and be able to support our administrators. And it was very well received, the condition of what it was in and how it looked, and the kids were really excited to kind of see the improvements and see what had happened over the summer. So that was great. Stopped by the middle school same day, and of course I was at Leesville Road and stopped by Tomahawk, and things are rolling, and I'm excited that it's a new year that's kicking off. So we'll just continue to keep you abreast to the high school and what's going on and staying on top of it.
All right. I mean, I'm done.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right, it's fun.
All right, first off, I wanted to say thank you for the care portal and the CAS programs. I think I'm excited to see how that rolls out and the information we get from down the road. I'm also excited about the Magic School and how that's going to be used and what our teachers can come up with. I'm excited to see how that rolls out as well, and hopefully they can work together on the stuff that they come up with. I'm excited to see what happens with that. Brookville High School is getting ready to celebrate its 100th year this year, which is an exciting milestone for our community. Wow. We had a great turnout for our back to school and open house events. It was so encouraging to see the excitement on students and families' faces as they got ready for this year. Orientation day was today, and the first day of school is tomorrow, so there's a lot of energy and anticipation in the air. Construction is coming along. And I loved seeing our seniors already leaving their mark by painting their senior wall on the construction, like right in front of the door at BHS. I saw a couple of kids out there already painting. A lot of our fall sports teams have already been hard at work this summer, getting in practices and gearing up for their seasons. And finally, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of our staff that have worked so hard over the summer to get our schools ready. And we're really looking forward to a fantastic year ahead.
All right, I reached out to our principals in the Rustburg district. They are all excited to get the year going. They said they had a great back-to-school open house day last week at all of the schools, so that was great to hear. Ms. Brown at Yellow Branch reached out. August 21st is a PTO meeting, 4:30 to 6. They've got a Jersey Mike night. August 26th, so go out and get you a sub, and some of those proceeds will go to Yellow Branch Elementary School. And then September 12th, they have a movie night at Yellow Branch, so just to pass that information along. I want to recognize Gleaning for the World. They donated 100 backpacks to Rustburg United Methodist Church, which then turned around and got a lot of those distributed. I think they have about 10 or so left to still try to get out to students that may need those. So but that was a great donation from Gleaning for the World. Dr. Wilson, thanks for the information tonight. Good information on the care portal and the CAS system coming up. Thanks, Mark. I don't know if you can hear me with your headset on, but don't sign up for any programs from Skynet. They're bad news, so just steer clear of them. But yeah, hope everybody has a great start to the new year. That's all I had tonight.
I'd just like to thank people that made the donations. I mean, we got over $150,000 worth of donations. And the people looking on YouTube, I'd like you to take the opportunity to go to boarddocs.com and see who in your area is donating to your schools. I mean, from $100 to $150,000. It's just amazing what people are doing for our kids. I wish everybody luck tomorrow. I know everybody's excited. And I got one question for Dr. Stanley. Do we have any enrollment numbers, or is it too early for that?
Tomorrow, at the end of the week.
Will be a pretty
better.
good.
Correct.
Are you still predicting a lower ADM like the state was? Or you are? Okay.
A couple hundred students.
Oh, really?
I can say that. I think right now, Tomahawk has probably got, more kids than we were anticipating. They're pushing 700. They've been at 700 before, but at the same time, it causes us to have this conversation, okay, at what point do we want to talk about redistricting? Leesville Road, I know, was 634. And so those are the two that I really watched. The rest of the schools have plenty of capacity, so.
Did the trailers get completed at Brookneal?
No, they did not. So right now, the modulars are together. We're doing fencing to make sure that, the fencing's back. Some of it will be temporary. We're continuing to do hookups this week, and we're waiting for box modular to hopefully have us a ramp out front of it the following week. So best case scenario is 2 weeks, but Mr. Harrison's, he's
excited.
He's got a plan.
Yeah.
Those kids are going to be, 5th grade's going to be in the gym to start the school year, and hopefully we'll have pretty weather and kids can go outside for PE for the most part. But his staff is excited and he's got a plan, so hopefully it'll be as soon as possible.
Sounds good. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, just to follow up, I was down at school at the elementary school when they delivered them, and it is an impressive, it's not like what's back behind JJ Frey. This is the real deal. I haven't seen it since it's been put together, but I am a little disappointed that I feel like the company dropped the ball a little bit, not getting them here in a more timely fashion, that we could get them hooked up, but we're making do with what we've got. Mr. Harrison, I'm confident that, like you say, he's got a plan, and he's also proactive, not reactive, so we'll be okay. And I know they're excited to get the kids back to school. They really like to get their kids back down there. Mr. Cartwright sent me an email, and I was down there also and saw the new STEM lab. And I haven't seen them in the other schools, but I can't imagine the other schools are any better than this one, because it was very, very impressive. And all the equipment that's in there, I'm excited for that whole program, and I know they're really excited down at William Campbell. Said they're excited to start school tomorrow and fully staffed. They had a great turnout for the 6th and 9th grade orientation, with over 75% of the 6th graders in attendance. They're looking forward to the press release highlighting the new STEM lab, and they've got the last few pieces of furniture. Their teacher's Mr. Wilborn, and he's excited and ready to go. And this Friday, they're going to host their first athletic event of the year, a football jamboree against Halifax and Central Lunenburg. And so it should be a great way to kick off the season. They built a new ticket booth, and I think it'll be able to also be used for a tornado shelter, because
Safe house.
it's really creatively built with timber frame construction. It's quite impressive. But there's a lot of good things going on down there, and a lot of excitement, real positive energy down there. So I know, a year's worth of planning comes down to one day, and I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited for this school year. We had a really good school year. 24-25 was a really good year, and I think we're just in a position to just keep moving that forward. Right now I don't see any bumps in the road ahead of us. We get Brookville under our belt, and I feel real positive about where we are as a county, where we are as a central office. We've got great administrators in all our schools, so I'm just real positive. So I think we're in good shape. So good luck tomorrow, and I won't call anybody tomorrow because I know you're all going to be busy. All right, so I think that's it, right? So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor, close your laptops.
So you will do this 10 minutes.